is Carina and welcome to the Lunar Chronicles. In this video I'm going to reorganize all my bookshelves, put all my books in a different spot and gonna show you which books I own actually. So this video has been a long time coming, highly requested. Buckle up because it's going to be a challenge. So, as I said, I'm going to reorganize all my bookshelves. I got a new bookshelf space. This is the one you're used to. It won't look the same anymore after this. There are 16 shelves in this bookcase and on average there fit 25 books per shelf. So that means 200 books per bookcase. I do own around 400 books, so it would be possible to fit them all in. But there are some books that I really don't want in my living room. So those are religious books that I own from my youth that are very big and present. So when I had them in my living room, I got a lot of questions about them. Well, I don't really feel that strongly about them, so don't really like that. Also some books for really young children. They are of course really nice and I have good memories of them. But they are like books that not that you get to read from. So no fairy tales and stuff, but books that you started reading with and with very big letters. And I also don't think they fit in this bookcase. So I'm not going to put all my books in here, but at least some. I didn't know how to do it because now my bookcase has been sorted on alphabetical order of the author. And I like that, but I want something else because if I do it like this, it is really random. You can have like a book for 10-year-olds next to a Dostoevsky book, and I don't really like that. So I want to order them on genre, but a lot of people have Billy bookcases and you can make them so that they have like squares and then you have very separate sections of your bookcase, and I don't really have that. So what I plan on doing, but maybe it looks really weird, I want to put random books, just books that I like or don't like, just colorful books, in the middle too. In the middle two shelves, so that's 4 shelves in total, and make rainbow shelves. Also because I will be sitting in front of it and it looks nice. So that's what I plan on doing. And then I have kind of a middle section of the bookcase and I can separate the other parts of the bookcase where I will display some books and not. So a few shelves I already thought of what I'm going to do with them. There are 2 book clubs that I've been reading a lot of books for. We're almost at 25, so that means that they both fit a whole bookshelf, as those books usually don't really have a very specific genre, but just really check off the vibe of the book club. I thought it would be fun to put those all together. I know which books I read for which book club. So there are 2 book clubs that can have their own shelf. If it was a first part of a series and I now own the rest of the series, then I will put them somewhere else. But that is not the case yet. For any of those books, I only read first parts or standalone. So I think they can just be in a group on one of my shelves. I will have a classic shelf because I have quite some very, very cute classic novels that are pretty editions, and I can now finally display them because I have more room than I have books. So I will definitely do that. And I have a series of books with Dutch classics with all the same cover. I will put them, I think, on one of the lower shelves in the bookcase, and now they're upstairs. And so I have some things that I can film. But what I'm going to do with all the random books, I don't know. And I also don't know yet. I have 2 bookshelves next to my bed where I have the books that I plan on reading semi-soon. So it's like for the next year or something. And I do like to go to sleep and look at my books and be like, oh yeah, that's what I'm going to read soon. So I don't know if I want them all in my bookcase, but they were getting too full, so I should. A lot of things to think about. First, I'm going to empty this one, get all my books from upstairs, and make big piles, I think. Whose idea was it to do this on like the hottest day it's been in the Netherlands since forever? It's 33 degrees Celsius. It's not even at the highest temperature yet, and I am sweating after putting books away from 4 shelves. I do have an idea now, because there are quite some series that I have complete or have at least a few books from, so like 4, 5, 6. And I think I'm going to put series together, obviously, but series together like, I think I'm going to make a Harry Potter Twilight Gone shelf, because those are like my, you know, childhood favorite series. Twilight wasn't even, but I have all the books, so I feel like I need to. I'm looking at my bookcase. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at you, but I'm just so distracted by all this. I'm also at least half a shelf going to dedicate to George R.R. Martin, because it's one of my favorite writers of all time. I own 7 books by him, so that's not a full shelf. I don't own any beautiful copies, so I think I'm going to dedicate half a shelf to it. But I think we're going to get somewhere. I mean, I also have the Immortal Instruments series, because it was a box set. It has nice spines, so I can display that somewhere. I have, how is that series even called? Like the Talon series. I have the Selection. I have quite some series. So I think I can put a lot of series. Maybe I was going to do the middle 2 rows with rainbow. And then I think that my favorite series and the classics collection and stuff need to be in 6 of the above shelves. And then the 6 lower shelves will be less liked series by me and random books. And I think I can do the random books on alphabetical order then. I think that's going to be how I'm going to do it. So great that I figured that out. Now I need to actually do it. One bookcase is empty. Woohoo! So I've cleaned my bookcase and I've turned some shelves around so that the weight of the books now will be on the other side, if you know what I mean. And now I'm upstairs because all these books are going downstairs. This was the Dutch Classic series I was talking about. It's going on one shelf. Sorry that I'm out of breath. Usually this is where I put the books that I've recently read, but they are now just going back into the bookcase. And these are books that I plan on reading semi-soon. And they are also just going back in the bookcase. Now I have space. Here are more books that I've recently read, because I didn't have space anymore. This is a book I've borrowed, and here are books I've borrowed. The books I've borrowed are going to my living room, where they were first. And then it's dark everywhere because we try to keep the house cool. So that's why it looks like I'm filming this at night or something. This is usually what I look up against when I'm in bed. And that upper shelf can go. That's just going in the bookcase, so we're also taking them downstairs. These books are actually books I want to read really soon, and I think I'll keep them here, but I might put them on the higher shelf. And then this stack is usually what was in my TBR video. And sometimes I'm a little bit lagging behind, or I get review copies, I also leave them here. So I think these are going to be the lower shelf, and the lower shelf is going to be the top shelf, and the top shelf is going downstairs. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, I didn't turn the shelves around, but I think it looks fine like this. The top shelf was my nightstand, plus 2 books that I'm reading for a book club that I need to read very soon. So that the lower shelf now isn't that full anymore, not too heavy. And those are books I also plan on reading very soon. So yeah, happy with this. I said these would go to my bedroom, but I think the borrowed books will stay here. Just somewhere. I don't know. I am also just thinking, I have book stands and I normally use them here. These are mine. Those are my boyfriend's, but they're also nice. But maybe I need them in the bookcase. We'll see. Yes, let's grab some books. So I took a little break because I was literally swimming in my own sweat because it was so hot. I am cooled down again. I have piles of books. Piles of books. I think there are 350 something on the ground. I'll show you. Yeah, intense. So I was like, oh, I'm first going to do the shelves that I know, like with all the Dutch classics, with my beautiful classic copies. But of course I didn't put them in the right piles already. So I don't really know what my plan is. You will just see it on the video. I think I am going to do the classics first. Dutch classics are all at one place, so that's an easy start and I feel like I've done something. And then I'm going to do the pretty editions. And then I'm probably going to do my George R.R. Martin shelf. And I think it will show in the end. So, let's start with this. So it's been a while. Yeah, you don't see it really. I love these upper 2 shelves. I'm already doing a mini tour for you because the up one are my pretty classics and this one is adult science fiction and fantasy. I know Narnia isn't actually that, but I thought it fitted this shelf anyway. This is my mini George R.R. Martin part, but 7 books is not enough to really do something with. And some other of my favorites, actually. A lot of my favorite books are on here. Some of these books I haven't read yet, but yeah, happy with that. These are the 2 book club shelves I was talking about. They're on alphabetical order. They're not quite full yet, but they will get full pretty soon. So I think that is fine. This is that Dutch classics series, and these are Dutch classic children book series that I collect. So I thought they fitted on one shelf. Problem is, I have too little books. I never thought I would say this, but I have too little books. So the 2 or 4 shelf rainbow is definitely not going to work out. So I'm going to get it to 2 rainbow shelves. I think this one and that one. So instead of the 2 above as well, the 2 below. I think that is nice, but I'm not even sure if I can make that. I now have the separation young adult left and everything else right. I don't have any young adults. You say, well, that's all on the ground still, because those are all series. So I will be able to fill some things up, but I feel like I need to lift these. And my boyfriend came home because he thought it was too hot at the office. So filming has got more difficult. He already accidentally broke my setup and he's making a lot of noise. So yeah, not what I planned, but okay, it's also his house. And I'm going to try to fit in some series now. What he did do is take the plants off for me because I couldn't reach them. I know I have a ladder, but it was too heavy. So we're going to do that now. So things have happened. I didn't film anymore because I looked back at the footage that I had and I was like, this looks ridiculous. I'm just going to guide you through everything I did, but I'm actually finished. And as you can see, there are 3 shelves left and a little bit of space on the book club shelves and a little bit of space on this series, which I'm also collecting, so that's good. And there's room for 1 more series, I would say, although I love how the Stravaganza series looks like right now. So quite some room to expand still. The idea is left is young adult, right is not young adult. So there are some children books, but most are adult. And the color, the rainbow in the middle, which I think turned out really pretty, is a little bit of both. But it actually turned out pretty nice. There are mostly young adults in that rainbow on that side and not young adults on that side because it's more darker and less extravagant colors. So it turned out great. You know what turned out great? I had 2 piles of random books left. The adult ones and young adult ones. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to fill them. And this was the pile for adults. It literally fitted perfectly on one shelf. So I was like, oh, that's funny. And then we did the YA one. That is the shelf. Literally there wouldn't fit any other book extra in there. And also, if you take one out, it looks very obvious. It's just perfect. I don't know how I got so lucky. But okay, first of all, we have the Lunar Chronicles, because that is what I named my channel after. I thought they should get a special place. So I put Cinder there as a book in a display. Then we have the Mortar Instruments. I actually haven't read those yet, but the spines are the most pretty ones, so it got a place here. And then we got Gone, which was my favorite series when I was younger, so I thought it deserved a place up here. Then we have Harry Potter, also a favorite of mine. Of course, I want to reread them in English, so I bought them a while ago. And I still need to read them. The Stravaganza series, because they are the most pretty. I just put 5 of them out there. The 6th one is not so pretty, so I put it like this, because otherwise it didn't fit. And then you can see that this is the Stravaganza series. Then we have Twilight, The Ranger's Apprentice, the first 6 chapters. The Selection, the Talent series, Throne of Glass, which can't really grow at the moment, but we have shelf space on other places, so maybe it will grow eventually. And the Darkest Minds trilogy. We are skipping the rainbow for a while. Then we have the Test trilogy, the Chemical Garden trilogy, Showstopper duology, Delirium Amoris trilogy. I loved that one when I was younger. I need to reread them. Stardust duology. Some vampire thingies that I bought secondhand, but none of the 3 series are complete yet. So I only will start reading them when I actually, have them complete. But they were very popular when we were young. And this series I also still need to read. I'm not even sure how it's called in English. I suppose 7 Star. But they are famous for their House of Anubis series, and I love those books, and we had a TV show in the Netherlands, so I love that as well. This is from the Awesome Book Club, the book club that I follow, but don't go to the meetings of. And these are the books that I've read yet. I own 2 more, Serpent and Dove and The Cruel Prince, but they are both upstairs still, because I am reading them very soon. They are on alphabetical order of the author. And then random YAs that didn't fit anywhere else, also on alphabetical order of the author. So that's cool. Then we have my favorite shelf, the Pretty Edition Classics shelf. We have here the series that I once got when I bought a lot of beer, which was very weird, but they produced 5 books and I needed them, so yay. My Watership Down edition, the Jungle Books, the one and only Penguin Classic clothbound that I have. And I collect these classics as well. I still need 2, and I think I can add them in this row without needing another shelf, so that is cool. Then we have in adult fantasy and science fiction, but I'm very loose with that, but okay. So we start with George R.R. Martin. This is actually completely random. It's just some of my favorite books. So, and then we have A Darker Shade of Magic. We have Becky Chambers, the first 2, The Night Circus, I haven't even read yet, but Starless, The Bear and the Nightingale, A Wind's Promise, Raybearer. I also still haven't read Beowulf. That series I've read, and The Last Magician and Narnia actually doesn't fit there, but I loved it there. This is randoms that were still left over after I put everything else in. Maybe I should have put that switched with what I'm doing now, but well, okay. This is the Dutch classic series. I put it so low because it's so gray. That's actually the reason. This is also an informative series that I want to collect, but I only own the first part, called the Earth. But I was going to buy the second part like in the upcoming month. So then it will be in between this. And this is a children's book collection that I'm also buying one book per year because they publish one book per year. I also have Diary of a Young Girl from this series, but I still want to read that copy, so that's also upstairs. And then we have the book club, the other book club, the adult book club actually. And also on alphabetical order of the author. And then we have my rainbow shell, which is just rainbow. So it's mostly YA. It's YA, 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 adult, adult, YA. I don't know. I think adult. YA, adult, YA, YA, adult, YA. Well, some sorry, YA, YA, adult, 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 YA, adult, YA, 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 adult, 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 YA, adult, YA, adult, YA, adult, YA, adult, 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 adult. Look, it's what I said. That was all YA and this is all adult. Well, adult, 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 YA, adult, adult, YA, adult, adult, YA, YA, adult, YA, and it's so, that having said, I think we can call this a wrap, and I love how it looks like. Maybe I need to make a picture after the plants are on there again. So I will do that, but this was actually it. Okay, I have to be honest, this video could have been done way earlier, but I've just been staring at my bookcase. It is so beautiful, I'm in love with it, and I just can't act normal anymore.